Hi, so I wanted to make a off-the-cuff video talking about anime DVD packaging because I've been collecting anime DVDs for a while now and I've started to get preferences for how I like them packaged. So I'm just going to start with like my favorite type, and that is basically this like booklet style where you essentially like flip pages of DVDs and they're front and back. And this specifically is my favorite because it has this groove where it's just where your hand like naturally goes to pull out the DVD, so it just pops out and pops back in super easy. And a lot of anime DVDs come like this. Like this is an old Bandai release, but I also have Sentai Filmworks one that's like the same way. It has that same easy access groove. The clear box Funimation releases, they also do the same thing. And none of this is like actually specific to the companies. Like no company does like their releases all in the exact same way as I will be showing you, but just as reference because like where these specific releases came from. So yeah, same thing. One thing that's really nice about the clear Funimation ones is that you can flip over this outer cover if you want the design that's on the inside to be facing outward, which they obviously, like, that's the purpose of their save releases, so that way you don't have to keep the green spine. But something that I don't like is how you get this cardboard slip. And I get that, like, it's supposed to be for, like, extra protection, but the cardboard slip, like, it gets kind of, like, ratty over time. And I'm not super careful with my anime DVDs, so, like, I know that the cardboard slip is gonna get, like, beat up. And, like, I feel like the case itself is, like, it's pretty hard, it's pretty sturdy. I don't think it needs that extra protection. And sometimes I get my stuff signed, like that's Steve Bloom, and no one, like, I'm the only one that knows that the signature is there because when it's sitting on my shelf, it has this sleeve, and if someone picks it up, like, they can't see the signature. Not everything comes with those little grooves. Like, this is another Sentai Filmworks release, and it doesn't have the little grooves. It has these, like, kind of traditional DVD case things. But I don't think they're, like, as convenient or well designed. Oh, this one's, like, can't actually get it out from the bottom because there's, like, a little blocking thing there, so you have to get it out from the top, so those don't even serve a purpose. So yeah, not as well designed. Interesting is the, like, overlapping discs. This is a Nozomi Right Stuff release. And this one is a discotheque. Same thing with this one. And this works because when you get it, like, disc 1 is on top, and then you take out disc 1 to watch. It's, like, not as easy to get out. And then when you go to get disc 2 is already, like, accessible. So you just pop out disc 2. Not as easy to pop out. And then you can put disc 1 in its place. And that's what I did when I watched these, but then you end up like kind of reversing the order. So I watched these and they were reversed, and now like disc 1 is back on top. But it's not, it's not that big of a hassle. But the only time I've had it like really annoy me is with this specific Boogie Pop release from Nozomi Right Stuff, where and I'll get to why there's Princess Tutu discs in here. But this is the prequel movie that you are like, you assume you're supposed to watch first, and they put it on the bottom instead of the top, and so you can't, so you have to like pull this disc out, and it's just total hassle. And then they have the booklet thing, but then there's nothing on the back, so they just chose to not have this be double-sided and then have the overlapping discs again. So I remember just being really annoyed with this release. I remember the discs were just a total hassle. But the reason that there are Princess Tutu discs in there is because of this. So it's really, really thick. It's like a brick. This one is also pretty thick, but this is thicker. And this doesn't actually close right anymore because it's just a super crappy case. But then on the inside, it's literally just one giant stack of DVDs. And if you want to watch anything that is not the top DVD, you have to take out the whole stack, and it's crazy hassle. Like you either have to like take them out individually or like feel like you're gonna break them by taking out a whole bunch. And then putting them back is really annoying, especially if you take out multiple. And when you get it, there's literally just a big piece of styrofoam underneath these big prongs. So it's just really inconvenient. Like, literally, like, this is my least favorite way to get an anime, which is such a shame because the discs themselves for this show were, like, great. They had a ton of extra content. That, all the content on the discs was, like, really good, and, like, it's a good show. But the packaging it's just totally unusable. It's literally just storage for shows that I know I won't be rewatching, because there's just no way to get to them. So I took the Boogie Pop out of here and put Princess Tutu in to make them more accessible. And the reason Maidsama is in there is because when I got Maidsama and watched it, it came in the same kind of casing, which is the one big stack. And this is literally just like envelopes, like it's office storage. So yeah, if they just had like nice pictures of like what the DVDs actually looked like on the inside, I think that would help me decide with some of those, like, you know, I'm on the fence kind of things that I want to buy. And for shows like this where, you know, I definitely want to own it, like I don't really care if it has crappy packaging, but I just would like to know beforehand. Because if I like the show enough, like that shouldn't like impact if I'm gonna buy it. But knowing that it has good packaging definitely will like influence if I want it on my shelf or not. I know that this got a new release, and I don't know what the packaging is like on that because I don't want to buy the show again. I didn't like the show. So I don't know if they improved it, but yeah, and this is Sentai Filmworks. So they put out this like really horrendous brick, even though other shows they do exactly what I want. Thankfully, like, you can't buy this anymore. I actually disliked this release enough that I wanted to write a bad review on Right Stuff, and I couldn't find the product anymore because they came out with the new release. So thankfully you can't buy this anymore. It was just a really crappy release in general. Like there were like typos in the subtitles, and I didn't like the show. So yeah, just really really crappy. This is weird because I wanted to talk about like this because I've only seen it specifically on these Disney releases that like came out in the 2000s. And they have these little like Hinge clips, and you have to unclip 2 of them before you can even open the DVD, and that is so annoying. And it doesn't offer like any real like protection. Like there's no reason for them to be there. So the last thing I wanted to talk about was like kind of the cardboard box sets and thin packs. So I don't mind these cardboard boxes because, you know, they keep all the discs together, and they might get like a little shabby over time, but the thing that's kind of nice about these is it gives you like extra art, because you get the art that's on the box, and then there is extra art on like the discs. It is also nice where like if you don't like the box, you can just get rid of it, because these will just stand up on your shelf on their own. The downside to thin packs is that they won't really do that. You have to keep them in the box in order for them to stand up, because they won't stand up on their own because they're too thin. And I'm not even sure if thin packs are even a thing anymore, because I haven't bought any recent shows in thin pack, and I remember like the idea behind them was that they were kind of like faster than a complete collection release and maybe cheaper. I don't really remember. But the other thing that's cool is that you get like the art, and a lot of thin packs, they have like art of like individual characters. So if you like want to get them signed, then you can have the voice actor like sign like their specific character's cover, as opposed to just like the general cover where they kind of put their signature in the corner, like how it was on like my Samurai Champloo discs. Like the cardboard box does get a little shabby over time, except for this, because this box is crazy like thick and sturdy, and like it has not gotten shabby over time. So Cyber Team and Akihabara, same thing, where you have like the different character art like on the different discs, which is cool because this is like a pseudo mech magical girl team, and so you get all the different team members on the different discs. And the box is like crazy sturdy. So that's like I have no issue with like the thin packs and keeping the box, because the box like has held up way better than just something like this. And I wanted to kind of save thin packs for last, just because I don't know if they're really around anymore, and so I kind of thought I'd do them as like the oddity at the end.